Hey guys, it's Edwin here, and today we're going to talk about isolation and how toxic people will use isolation as they seek to isolate you from your loved ones or from your interest in life so that they can manipulate you further. A toxic relationship is a place where someone will want to control you or to dominate you to get their needs met. And isolation is one of those subtle techniques where manipulative partners will sever all emotional and physical ties you have with the outside world. Early on in the relationship, you may think that isolation is a good thing as you want to spend more time with your partner, or we can say your supposed love of your life. In fact, you will even voluntarily help them in facilitating this agenda because you want to build the relationship and you want to grow together. Isolation is a very dangerous tool used by toxic people to weaken you, make you dependent on them, stop you from hearing other people's perspectives, and forces you to abide by their own beliefs and requirements. They just want to make sure that nothing can ruin or shake the foundation for their own supply. In fact, isolation will make you push away those people who would help you once you discover their abusive nature, or those people who will offer support network in case you need help away from that relationship. And in this video, I'm going to share with you 7 insidious ways a manipulative partner will use to isolate you in a relationship so that it can help you to be better prepared and to be more aware of these instances. The first warning sign of isolation is if your partner insists on spending each and every single minute with you. Spending as much time with your partner is a great thing and it will make the relationship grow. But when it becomes too much, it's a warning sign to look out for. When they insist that you spend all the time together at the exclusion of the relationships you had before you met them, then they are probably isolating you. It might look romantic and sweet, but it might also be a cover for them to exert their domination and control over you. This is what happens mostly in the early stages of a relationship, when you will be most vulnerable to this, because you will also be seeking to know each other more, so you will be willing to sacrifice some of your relationships or some of your relationship with your friends and family so that you can spend time more with your partner and understand each other. They may do this by telling you to cut off contact with your family or friends, or by stopping you from attending family events, or even relocating to a different city or town. All these with the pretense of wanting to have more one-on-one time with you as much as possible. It looks plainly okay, and that's why it may not be easy to spot. This is one of the reasons why you should always slow things down in every new relationship you venture into. And you shouldn't make sudden big changes in your life, like quitting your job so that you can move to another state or another city with your partner. No, take it slow. Another way a toxic person will isolate you from friends and family is they will manufacture situations that prevents you from going to meet your friends and family. You may have made prior arrangements that you are going to meet your friends and family on, let's say, Friday evening, but when that day comes, they might just tell you something like, oh, I have already booked a movie for 2, oh, I've already booked a reservation for us in this hotel, oh, I don't feel so well, just so that you cancel those appointments. It's more of just coming up with realistic and even romantic reasons at a convenient time when you are about to have your own me time. The thing about these instances is that they are so timely and you are never told about them early enough. The effect of this is that it will even make you avoid making plans with your friends because you feel that you always disappoint them and because you don't show up. And your friends will also stop sending you invites because you always come up with last minute cancellations. Slowly by slowly, that's how you drift away from your friends and family, and that's how your friends and family drift from you, and that's isolation. It's so insidious and so subtle. Financial abuse is another form of isolation. Financial abuse is where like your partner will have excessive control over your finances. They will use money and assets to control you or to dominate you. They may sabotage your career, stop you from getting a job, have sole control of family finances, strict budget, or anything that leaves you financially starved. When you have no finances, you definitely isolated yourself from the world because you cannot visit your friends or family, you cannot even call them. And when you have no money, you will become dependent on them. And the fact that you've probably been intimidated by them also means that you will be afraid to even ask for money for your own personal needs. The strange thing about this kind of isolation is that when you ask for money for your own needs, like money to visit your family or money to call your family or a friend, they'll tell you that there's no money. But when the money is for something else aside from your own personal needs, money will mysteriously flow like manna from heaven. So when they starve your finances, they have already like isolated you from the world. That's why when you find yourself in this instance, always have small amount of savings with you just in case this happens. You can also like if your partner is so stingy, like you can as well like be exaggerating some of the prices of groceries so that you save something for yourself. Yeah, that will really help you in this situation. A toxic person will also talk ill or make false accusations about your loved ones so that you can isolate yourself from them. They may make false accusations about what your family or friends have done to them so that you may view those close to you as very bad people who want to ruin your marriage. They may also try to convince you that some of your friends and family do not care about you and that you should be careful when you're interacting with them. And in fact, you should just stop talking to them. They may say things like, your parents don't like me and that's why they rarely visit. You see, I told you that your friends are misleading you. And the funny thing about this kind of conversation is that it's so timely and they might even be stating genuine examples. They might just exaggerate these genuine examples where like your parents have done something which is not good for you or which is harmful to you, but they will just exaggerate it so that it makes you really hate on your loved ones or push them away. And the fact that you trust them so much, or the fact that you've also been manipulated by them, will also make you believe every word they say. And you'll find yourself just voluntarily isolating yourself from your support network. That's why it's so insidious and so dangerous. Another thing a toxic person will do to isolate you is that they will be so unwelcoming to visitors. They will act disrespectful and may act so rude when your family or friends pay you a visit. They may outrightly look so bothered, or their body language may just show that they are so uncomfortable when you have friends over at your place. They'll even like choose to stay away every time you have a visitor and will not even dare to give you a helping hand. There will just be this tension in that household that will even scare away your friends and family from ever paying you a visit. You'll even feel guilty or you'll feel bad as you think that you've done something very, very wrong by inviting some of your friends and family. You'll also stop inviting your friends and family to your place because you don't want to upset them and you don't want to embarrass yourself in front of your family and friends. This will just isolate you from building deep connections and relationships in your life because you can't invite anyone. And of course, the other people also will not invite you. So that's pure isolation. A toxic person may also try to isolate you by extremely controlling your communication with the outside world. A toxic person will limit your freedom of expression. They may do this by insisting that you share all your passwords with them, like passwords for social media, for the email, for your phone. They may also want to know every conversation you are having with your friends or family. For example, like they will want to read all your messages, they will want to read all your emails, or they will want you to even delete some of your important contacts. This is because when they control your ability to express yourself freely and openly to the outside world, the abusive person is stopping you from sharing your feelings or from getting different perspectives of how a normal relationship is supposed to look like, and of course eventually seeking help. And without communication with the outside world, or without contact with the outside world, you'll be stuck in that place because you cannot share and you cannot learn about new things. So you'll just be remaining with only them as the sole information provider. The last thing a narcissist will do to isolate you is that they will stop you from attending to your hobbies or interests. They may do this, of course, not directly. They may do this by telling you things like accusing you of having an affair with your instructor if you are going for like yoga or music or anything or golf or anything, or that you are spending more time with your hobbies instead of them. They may also like ridicule or make a joke out of your hobbies so that you leave them. They will say something like, "Who does that? Only mature people engage in such kind of hobbies." You will find yourself dropping all your hobbies and you'll just spend more time indoors, isolated from the outside world. Because you'll have no reason to go out and interact with new people, because everything you do is horrible or bad for you. And one thing is, once you drop this interest and these hobbies, it will leave you stressed and frustrated because you will not have any outlet to channel your frustration, which you are already undergoing because of being in that relationship. And this will open room for more abuse. And when you have no interest outside the relationship, the only place you'll be forced to run into is, of course, their arms. You have no hobbies, you have no interest. The only way is to just talk to them. And that's how you've been isolated from the outside world. Isolation is a very dangerous thing that destroys your support network, keeping you stuck in a toxic relationship. It can be a difficult one to recognize because we feel that spending much time with our partners is what a relationship is supposed to be. Just the two of you against the world. That's why it's always important to know that you had a life before that relationship, and you don't need to lose that life when you commit to a relationship. You just have to find that balance, and when you feel that your partner is trying to indirectly or directly push you away from the things you love or push you away from your loved ones, don't just accept everything and go with the flow. Pause and ask yourself why they are doing that. One last thing that makes isolation a very dangerous thing is that your family and friends will reciprocate the isolation you are giving them, because they don't know that you are being manipulated and they don't understand what you're going through. So instead of your family like sticking with you because they feel that you are pushing them away, they will also push you away. And this will mean that the rift between you and your loved ones will keep growing and growing, making it really hard for you to seek help when you need it. Because you will find yourself not calling them, and then they will also not call you because they feel that you are cold. That's why, as friends and family, we should always be ready to listen and help out our loved ones without isolating them further or without blaming them any further. And for me, that's what love is. To conclude, when you feel isolated in a toxic relationship and feel that there is no one to reach out to, there is no family to reach out to, there is no friend to reach out to, just know that you are never alone. There are plenty of strangers out there in the online space, in the offline space, who are always willing to listen and share their perspectives and help you out. So it doesn't matter. If you are isolated from friends and family, find other strangers and just share with them. Trust me, you'll find another way out. That's it from me today, guys. As always, just know that you deserve a better life and keep going. Feel free to comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, see ya.